Hello everyone, this is your host the Cowboy. Again, welcome to Elliott Wave Cafe. It is Thursday, we are on March 30th, and welcome to another episode of the chart of the day. So today I'm going to do something a little bit more interesting, and what we'll do is we'll review some of the counts that we've done prior in about 3 or 4 stocks, and I also want to take a look at the ADA because this one has done a pretty interesting move, so I want to see kind of where we are, how we can match it with what we've done before, just to continue to analyze how this Elliott Wave patterns work, or if they don't work, what happened, where we are overall. So let's begin by taking a look at the videos that I've done. Basically, I have my full list in here of videos that when I started to do the this daily updates for chart of the day stocks and cryptos and other stuff in here, and one of the first one that we've done in here, if you notice, is ARKK. So this is ARK. We've done this back in February 21st. So we're going to cover today, we're going to take a look at ARK, Facebook. I've covered Tesla already, so we'll take a look at ARK, Facebook, and Coin, and then we'll jump over and take a look at ADA, and then American Airlines, and the rest of the ones are probably going to do them next week. So let's go with the first one, take a look at ARKK. So this is where, this is the count that we've done, and you can see this on the video. If you go back in my channel, you'll find out, where this ARK was. Go ahead and search for that video. I can probably link it in here as well. And then you can see we were looking for this decline to be near its completion and start to terminate this impulsive move to the downside, right? And there were a couple of ways. I mean, if you can watch the videos in here, you will see how we came up with this distinctions in here. You might want to do, you can even do, I think, a 335 in here, although it's a little bit more messy, that one. But listen, it does look like what we cared about is that, hey, how far are you from a lows, and how much longer can this thing can actually go before it actually started to bounce. And we were looking somewhere near $60 where I kind of placed this one. I was thinking we're still in the process of continuing to decline here before some kind of a significant bounce occurs, right? So this was almost a month ago, and here we are on ARK today. I'm going to go back, I'm going to come back to ADA, but let's go to my stock channel and take a look at ARK. So this is kind of what I placed it, the C wave on the decline, and this would supposedly terminate the Y wave of this larger WXY. Now, I'm not too happy with this B wave in here. I mean, you can actually go impulsive as well. You can go in a 1, 2, 3, although I think wave 3 is smaller, 4 and 5. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it like this for now. I'm going to continue to review it, but I would expect this move to continue to push higher, right? And you've done a pretty good rally. I mean, if you look at ARK, you've done from $51, which was the low in here, back to, below 78% correction, and then you've gone back to about $70. So a very nice, let's say $20 rally. So if you kind of measure it, it's almost a 37% rally from these lows. And this is something that, as you're noticing how the moves unfold, plus you're getting, what it's looking here being a terminating move, right? You're getting this contracting diagonal towards the end of the moves, which tells you that there's a, big rally starting to come. So the Elliott Wave was telling us here that, be careful. There's not a lot to go in this decline. Start to either accumulate position, get out of your short positions, and start to think there's going to be a bounce to the upside. And one of the targets still, I think, is still going to be the 78.25. Probably it's going to get all the way back there. Then we might do a little bit of a pullback and then maybe another rally higher. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in ARK for the moment. Things are getting now with the first bounce of the lows. They're getting a little bit more messy. Now we got to watch for an impulse of these lows, look for a correction, and then look for another push back up higher. So this is ARK. I think it's done to our expectation here in terms of its move, right? Even though it dropped here a little bit lower, right? But it was towards the end of our corrective pattern. So take a look at ARK. The next one in here, we're going to go and take a look at Facebook. So this was ARK. Let's take a look at Facebook. So Facebook, we've had a couple of counts. One of them was that you're going to be doing an ABC. This was coming towards the end of the video. And the other one where, it's probably kind of towards the middle in here. We were doing a 1, 2. This is a larger third wave. You're still doing a fourth wave and maybe a fifth wave before you finish this up. Now, this is an extremely long C wave, right? It's very probable it is. We're not going to know if that's the case until you're starting actually to climb much higher out of here, right? If you're starting to do something like this, then very likely this will be a C wave. If you're falling apart and you're starting to build sideways, more of a sideways consolidation, you could be building a fourth wave type formation. But no matter what, we were expecting a move higher out of these lows and for the Facebook to start to generate some some impulses to the upside due to the fact that it was so extended to the downside. And here is the count on Facebook. I'm going to go and pull it up here. So you've had this AB and then a C wave decline towards this 186, 187. And then if I look back in here, we were at about 200 at a time. So we allowed for that move to push a little bit lower in there. So now this is kind of where we are, and you've gotten the bounce, right? And, this looks pretty impulsive, pretty strong. And I'm assuming, hey, if it's a triangle, that means it could be just wave A of an ABC of a wave A of a triangle. And that means that you're going to push sideways. Now you go something like that, right? You go in an A, B, C, D, and E, and then you drop lower one more time. Or if this move continues in a 1, 2, and again you go 3, 4, and 5, and you start to close that gap, then the fact that this was a three-wave decline, starts to look much, much better. So sometimes the market will give you trading opportunities if you are if you know kind of how to scan for where these corrections might end or how much more there is actually into a downtrend. You don't have to be close, but you just got to keep a close eye on the market and start to think that bounce, should be happening, right? And that's, just to kind of step on the sideline here for a second. One of the pitfalls of Elliott Wave is that it's making you aware of the counts, and then also makes you want to pick tops and pick bottoms, because you're saying, hey, the corrections, it's complete. And more often than not, we are very early in our assumption that the correction is complete and the leg of the correction is complete. So that's where traders get trapped. So you have to always allow and be careful that low, it's going to end up to another low and another low, and maybe it's going to be some kind of an ending formation. But as long as the rate of change of the decline changes, right after you see such a big decline, you're not going to expect something like that again. You're going to know that the rate of change is slowing down. And if you see the rate of change slowing down, there's not much longer before something happens and you're getting a decent bounce to the upside. And that's where you step in. Now, if you want to wait for this confirmation, that's fine. Some people do that, and then you're waiting for a pullback, and then you're trading the next leg to the upside. So here is just a quick look at Facebook and kind of how it compares with what we've looked at previously when we were counting this up. So could be still a fourth wave, could be at end of a wave C. We'll see how the market continues to move. Now, the next one up after Facebook is Tesla, which I've talked about. I've done a video, I think, yesterday or the day before, so go ahead and check that out. That worked out, I think, pretty decent in there as well. And then let's take a look at coin. So let's take a look at coin. And I think I have this one. So this was Facebook. Here we go, coin. So coin, we looked at it as a three-wave decline because you don't have a lot of data in here to go by, and it's fine. You have an impulse, you have a big correction into the 78.6, and then you're starting to move into a 1, 2, 3. So it's an impulse down, followed by a second wave, then a big third wave, a fourth, and a fifth wave. And this was trading at about 169 when we were kind of looking at it and talking about it, and we were expecting that maybe the C wave will continue a little bit lower. So let's see what happened in coin in the meantime. And here is my coin chart. So I'm going to show it to you. This was at about 169. So not much lower, right? We've done, again, just almost like a finished a formation in here, right? Like, what is this? Looks like an ending diagonal, right? When you're having a move that looks like this, you're just like, hey, there could be something happening in here. You can get a bounce. And you were getting about 127 C versus A. So I'm measuring, the declines in here to kind of see how they look, the bottom of the channel as well. And coin has enjoyed a pretty nice rise here along with Bitcoin from the lows. And here you are from 155 to about 204. Now, this kind of, matches the fact that we were expecting this move to be a terminal move, right? We weren't expecting a third wave to the downside, but rather a fifth wave. So always keep an eye on these markets, right? And see kind of how they develop and look at situations like this that can lead to the next bounce higher. And now what's next for coin in here? I think this is a pretty good impulse so far. We are threatening to break above this fourth wave. I think it's an important level that needs to be taken out. I think this move in here, it's complete. It's kind of done. Whatever happens from now on, it belongs to a different pattern. So let's say if this is an impulse in a wave one, and this crashes, right? You're looking at an A, B, C for a move like that, and then another drop lower. Right? That could be one scenario. This could be an ABC. You could have a W in here, and you can do an ABC up here for an X, which can go a little bit higher for an X wave and then drop again, right? Or it can continue to climb in what could be as an impulsive move. You're looking for a wave one of the lows, wave 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're starting to attack the trend line up at the top. So this will be an encouraging sign that coin will basically get above those levels, and that would be a confirmation that a much larger trend it starts. But that's kind of how things happen, and that's kind of how they start. RSI is still not in the overbought territory, so this continues to look fairly decent, but I would definitely not buy coin here. I would wait for a little bit of a pullback to get you. Maybe you're going to be able to get a three-wave decline after this initial impulse finishes off, and then that could tell me, hey, start to get involved here. Things look good. You have some stops below those levels, and you can push higher. Now, the last one on my list before this video becomes too long, I wanted to take a look at ADA, which it's towards the top of my list in here because I think we've looked at it. I'm going to go LMT, oil, PLTR, silver, PayPal, shop, CVX, then we've got a bunch of stuff in Tilray and the pot stocks, which have rallied pretty nicely, and then ADA was episode 17 on March 21st, so just about 9 days ago. So let's take a look at ADA and see kind of how that looks. And this is my ADA chart. So coin, I'm probably having it here towards the front. So this is ARK. I'm sorry about this. Facebook, coin, and what's going on here? Anyway, so let me go back and do this. Let me go find ADA. So this is right here. This is the chart of ADA. Let me go back and see what's going on. Why is this hidden in here? Yeah, I have found it. It was hidden below underneath my other video. So sorry for that interruption. But, ADA back in March 21st, it was just kind of barely coming off these lows, and it was trying to get a little bit of an impulse. And I've said, I think this correction looks pretty good and it might be complete already, but pay attention to a rally higher towards the top of this channel because, by the way this looks, that's the most likely thing that's going to happen. So you're going to go in a wave 1, 2, or an ABC and threaten to break the top of that channel. So this was a pretty good move. If you initiated longs, at least on that positioning in here, you probably, reap some good rewards in here. I think ADA went back above above $1. So let's take a look at this. So here you are, you went all the way up to almost $1.20 or $1.22 or something like that. But I was drawing these lines as well, and I've talked to the members in the room about this as well, because now you're near the top of this third wave. Right, you got a wave 1 of the lows, a wave 3. You're probably going to do a fourth now, right? So just be patient because now, a big chunk of this move has been done. You're threatening this trend line in here, so there's no point to buy this in a downtrending market, right? That you have no confirmation that it's already finished. It's starting to give signs of it because, once you have a 5-wave move, 3, let's say a 4, and a 5, and you're starting to break above this X wave, now you're not making those lower highs anymore, right? That's a high, that's a high, that's a high. So lower highs, lower lows in here. Right, but the moment you take those levels, now this downtrend is finished and you're looking for a change in direction, a change in trend. And this is kind of what I'm seeing right now. I think, when we were looking at it, ADA was somewhere up here. It broke out of these levels, attack the trend line. We're expecting now a little bit of a correction, and then maybe one more push higher out of there, and then you're probably going to get maybe a 3-wave setback and then a push back up high. So these lines are not perfect, right? But what Elliott Wave gives you, it gives you a roadmap. You're kind of starting to think, hey, this is what I'm expecting, and if this doesn't happen, this is what I got to do. If I'm seeing a big impulsive move, I know there is no point to continue to press that, and I need to wait for some kind of a correction. Now, yeah, if the market pushes higher out of here and it does something like this, what you're gonna do, right? I mean, it doesn't happen that often. It could happen, but I doubt it, but that's the risk you're taking when you don't want to buy on riskier setups, right? Sometimes you miss moves, and that's the end of the story. You got to be disciplined in your approach and trade the markets on your own terms and not on the market's terms. So I hope this will help, guys. Please visit me in the pro room. Again, I'm repeating this. The price has dropped. It's almost $39 for a month on a yearly subscription, $59 for the monthly subscription. Give us a try. Come up there. We've just done a video this morning. We've talked about some of the macro and what's going on in Bitcoin here. We have some shorts in Canadian dollar, in the Aussie, some long in the futures on the 2-year notes, stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on in there, things that are interesting. Every single market repeats the patterns. It's almost the same thing everywhere. Some markets are a little bit different than others in terms of how high they move, how fast they correct. They have different personalities, but the wave principle gets applied to every single market. So if you get strong at understanding the wave principle and the wave counts, corrections, impulses, you can trade any market in this world at any time, and you should have no problem touching everything that trades under the sun, basically. So I'm just trying to kind of push this into my own members as well, because a lot of people just trade only cryptos. They feel comfortable there. But trying different markets is very cool. It's very rewarding, and there's opportunities in other places when the crypto market doesn't give you that opportunity. So with that, enough rambling. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.